Hey guys, I wanted to share a live stream I joined my dad in a couple of days ago with you guys. It was his live stream. He did most of the talking. I was there with him, chatting with him. But he went real deep onto a lot of important topics. I think there's about 8 segments. Real nice coverage of those. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. If you guys haven't seen his channel or his YouTube or his Facebook, I'll link that into this. But yeah, he's covering and talking about the same kind of stuff that I'm talking about, and that a lot of other people were talking about as well. So yep, without further ado, here it is.
Like I know that the purpose for me, and I could I could say others might feel similarly, is to use my own energy in a positive, caring way outwardly, regardless of what I get back, because I don't want anything back. Because I know that here, while I'm here in this physical world, it is a mess, and it's set up to be a mess. So you don't find yourself, you don't find balance, you don't find equilibrium in things in the present moment, and are able to walk through this life as an active, living character in it, playing your own character fully, not being played as the character of someone else in their little game or little whatever part they like someone else would like you to play out type of thing. That's what it is for me. And that big profound realization of that in all of us, that makes us all equal, like the words have been written down to say and then stepped all over, because the written word has just become pile upon pile upon pile of other people's words saying all kinds of stuff to tell other folk what's right and wrong according to their opinion. And that's what it is. It's an opinion. So then you have the choice. Do you believe their opinion? Because if you believe, well, now you're stuck in a trap that they have constructed with their own opinion. Now you believe it. And if you don't know it to be true or false, that's the trap of belief, because you don't know if it's true or false. You only believe it. Not to say you personally, whoever might hear this at some point, I speak in that senses because that's how I felt and was talking to myself when I was forced to really re-examine my own reality. I was really, things were coming to me in that fashion. Like really, it was, hey, you don't know this. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know. You don't even know what you are. And yeah, it really, that shut me down to the present moment the fastest, was getting just how fooled I was and how much of a fool I had become. And then from that point of that realization that hurt so bad and was so painful and so dark, also so full of light and so freeing and such a place to grow from. That's why I'm convinced everyone has that place to grow from, whether their experience has been a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, a little bit whatever. That's still there. Trace all the way back to the beginning of you. And then realize that wasn't the beginning. And then go forward to the end of you and know that that will not be the end of you. Yeah.
I think that is like the, I'm convinced that's the key to this place here. That is the point of this reality, is to discover this, because after, yeah, this is,
And then to help others.
yeah, yeah,
To me too, it
yeah.
does. It does seem like the overall goal, because it feels the most peaceful. Yeah, it feels the most all encompassing and just full of knowing and full of care and full of the want for harmony and the want for that for others. Not to try and sell it to others, to try and freely give the words to others in such a way from your own mouth, your own, what you've put together organically, your own word. Mine, I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about in the third person, but yeah, to share it though in such a way that hopefully, hopefully something gets through to to the soul or spirit out there and whoever might hear it.
That's the thing too, is most people out there don't realize that this is what they're searching for inside really strongly. This is what they're looking for, and they don't even know it. Because yeah, I mean, I know that's how it was for me. I know that ever since I started looking at things and understanding myself and understanding just how I work and how, and then it helped me understand how everyone else works, which helped me understand a lot of the problems going on. But yeah, before I was so disconnected from my thoughts, my feelings, my even my body really, to where like after I started seeing things and relearning myself, my ability to learn, my ability to pay attention, my ability to communicate has increased in a way I never thought would have ever been imaginable in the state of mind that I used to be in.
Boy, I know how that
Yeah,
goes.
yeah,
Looking at stuff
yeah,
on the screen encourages me to do all kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Seeing it on the screen. Yeah, man.
That's the thing too, is yeah, people are so caught up in these screens too, and if you're looking at the screen, especially for information about life and life, like you're alive right now, like yeah, you're right here. Here's life. Learn it from here. You're not gonna get any good information off those screens.
That sure had
Not
me mesmerized for a
really.
long time.
You'll get the best information from yourself. The best information you put together for yourself.
I agree with you. Yeah, 'cause we all got all this stuff already inside us
Yeah,
from growing up. This from living life. We're full of so much information and experience to draw from. We really are, just no matter who we are, no matter where we are. Yeah. I don't know. It's part of the life experience. You gain it. That's the thing. You gain it. To me, you gain life experience whether you realize it or not. And until you realize the experience you gained, that experience is just sitting off kind of like in this karmic bank vault somewhere. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Not to use a reference of bank vault because I sure do hate the money belief. Not to say hate either because I don't like that word because I know the destructive power of language. So, but sometimes my brain gets a little ahead of where my heart's trying to come from. So let me try and rein back a little bit. What was I saying?
Karmic bank
Oh
vault.
yeah. If that life experience, you know what? Yeah, if that life experience really isn't realized, the life experience that's already been accumulated throughout each individual's life until it's been realized, it's like experience points sitting away, for your character. Your character, to go with the leveling up thing, which I so don't like to use certain terms, but in some cases they are so absolutely fitting, and this is one of them. Once you really distill the experience of life into wisdom, you really get it no matter where you came from. You gain those experience points, so to speak, and you level up in mind, body, and spirit if you let yourself. If you let yourself go inside and calmly get the lessons of the life you've led up to this point. At least I'm convinced. And when I say you, I only say that because it worked for me. So I'm only trying to relate it.
Yeah, I say you pretty often too, like that.
Okay, the toxins, yeah, the toxins that really prevent for me, the toxins that prevented me were the massive amounts of vaccines I had intaken, the SSRI, the pills, the drugs, the chemically imbalanced creating mind altering drugs for depression and this and that and the other. Those screwed me up so bad, my perception of reality and feeling and brokenness inside. I was full of disconnected energies, I guess, to put it in the best way I can. Because when I realized just how broken I was and I started to heal and put these things together and look back and figure out the why, what happened, that's what I saw was it started out from, like I said before, day one. I had no choice. I got pumped full of vaccines, which already cut me off right then. And then from then, looking back now, I see that all the chemical concoctions of toxins that are packaged as food and that are full of different metals, this and that and the other, the same metals we breathe in that are sprayed in the air, All those things, when they all combine and those metals seep through the blood-brain barrier into the brain, they do indeed affect the thoughts of the mind, because now the mind is scattered, because now the mind is surrounded by all these electromagnetic frequencies of things like these devices here that are emitting them right now as we speak. Yet, now, I don't get the scattered anymore, because there's not this interaction of weird particles within me with all of these frequencies. Yet these frequencies are still doing damage to me at the cellular level, and I know that. However, they are not damaging my spirit anymore, because I'm not under the control of any of these devices, and would be fine if they all disappeared right now.
Yep.
I would be perfectly happy. And that's only because I know the needs of life for my life are water, food, shelter, spirituality. Well, I can find water, food, and make a little shelter anywhere I would like. I found spirituality. My needs are complete. Is what I'm trying to say. So to me, if all these destructive systems of enslavement that exist were to collapse, it would be okay. I know it would, because I know there's plenty of other folk that know how to just live simply and normally and naturally and peacefully with nature, and get water, get food, make shelter, and just be at peace with things. So to me, it can all, even if it's not those thoughts of, oh no, this catastrophe of everything. No, not if everybody keys in and goes, oh wait, let's just do this different. All this stuff's set up. Let's kind of refurbish, reset, use what's already available, and just kind of, we'll go from there, starting
together.
in the present moment, with openly saying the why, the how we got here, and now how we're going to fix it. I know I'm convinced there's programs like that already ready to go and might be going on right this second, but I'm still waiting to see the public education portion. At what time is all this, whatever, Luciferian, satanic, whatever label you want to put on it, destructive programming, trauma-based mind control programming, when is that going to cease, along with the repetitive different distractions and lies of materialistic idols and idolatry? When is that going to stop and we say, okay, let's all call it a day on all the theater. Let's all pretend like we're all regular, normal folk, all on the same level here. We'll all reintroduce ourselves as whoever we are, Ron, whatever, and whoever, and we'll just go from here. I mean, why not? I know it's not quite that simple. I also know the potential is there for it to be. So, to me, that is the point for me. It was just to do all this, if nothing else, for a training experience, to see if I'm worthy to leave this physical body when my energy is done in this physical body, no matter how that might come about. Can it move on somewhere else? Did my energy gain enough interrelated, interconnected understanding, overstanding of, if nothing else, at least itself and how it affects others, to then be able to be trusted to move on to another form or different form of energy that is even more energetic, that can do even more things, especially knowing the difference between need and want, and the difference between knowing and believing, and knowing the very real cosmic law of cause and effect and how it works. How's it work? It's just cause and effect. To me, I look at myself as an effect of the cause, a cause greater than me that I can't understand, that created this whole place and all of us in it. That's the cause, I'm the effect. Once I realized that that had happened to me, however I got that, that there was indeed more than that, an effect of that. Now, to me, I switched. And I went, now, for me to become fully responsible, animated, and alive in this place with knowing what I know and what I've just felt and what I've just realized about this, and it's in a relationship to all the other folk out there and how they could feel this too, and how peace could like descend, so to speak, on the land. To me, it was, what was I saying just before that? I
Uh,
just got lost. You know what? That's it. That's what happens. So I'll be talking. It'll be like from the soul, so to speak, or the heart. You know, my spirit. Like, I'll be talking. It'll just be flowing in the moment. And then brain up here, brain got key in on something. Be like, hold up. I like what you're saying. Let me take it somewhere right quick. And it got me that time. You know what? Sorry about that. Oh, well, anyway, I was going to say, for me and my energy and my experience, I may very well have to repeat this. You know what I mean? I'm not the judge, and that's another point. Is not to be the judge, because none of us are the judge. Oh, cause and effect.
there you go.
So, not that I ain't trying to make crazy magic symbols of infinity and this and that, because I'm part of. You know what? Anyway, um, yeah, the cause and the effect. Once I realized that that greater cause, all of us here and all of this is the effect of that greater mother, father, creator, you know, whatever you want to call it, you know, whatever. To me, to grasp full responsibility physically, mentally, and spiritually of that truth that now I had grasped, I had felt, I had know I had become a part of, because we are all a part of it. I just hadn't realized it yet till I did. I'm a slow learner, slow feeler sometimes, maybe. Made to be so, maybe. Doesn't matter. I got there, got here. Here I am. It was realizing that that cause and effect, now I had to become a cause for effect in the real world. And that cause is simply to share the truth I found. That's my only cause, is to share the truth that I have found. And not, like I said, to draw anyone down this label or that label or this angle or that angle. Nope. Some more all-encompassing type of understanding and kind of truth that I found that I am only trying to share to the best of my ability. So
And trying to learn this speaking thing a lot more too. Yeah, working on my words, my vocabulary, my rhetoric, my yeah everything, how I think about things and how I speak them out loud, because yeah, that was a big thing for me too, as I realized when I started to see things is, yeah, I cannot speak worth a bad word. I couldn't speak worth a bad word. I really couldn't convey my thoughts or feelings in any kind of way, because they didn't even I didn't even understand them in the inside. So yeah, it's a learning process for everyone. It's going to be a learning process for everyone, a growing process.
yeah, growing process. Yeah, and learning to it, but
Yeah,
oh yeah, but it's so, ooh, it's so liberating and freeing, and that doesn't mean liberating and freeing in the fact, or you know, in the meaning of let's go do whatever we want. Not that kind of freeing. It's a freeing of the fear and the worry and the labels and the fighting and the bickering and the nonsense. It's so freeing because you
and the
realize just how fake
expectations
it
and
all is. All the set up fights and groups and different this and that. Argue about this issue or that issue. Which side of it doesn't matter as long as you're arguing. Which issue doesn't matter as long as you're arguing. Like, so to me, like seeing through the nonsensical layers of theater in all of these different, now I'll say aspects of life, because they are aspects or angles of life. And nature doesn't work like that, doesn't work in all these angles that are constructed the way they are. Nature is more flowing. Nature works with itself in harmony, at least it tries. What messes that up? Well, it's when folks start getting all angular on things and start to get their narrow focus driven on, oh, this or that because me, I want. Yeah, and that causes issues. Has caused a lot of issues.
And a
Oh,
big one,
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say a big one is the want to be right, want their perspective to be true. Yeah, they don't people don't like being wrong. Who likes being wrong? It's a thing, and to be wrong about your whole entire experience, to yeah admit to yourself that you had been lied to and you had been acting out a whole entire lie, your whole life all the way up till right now.
Ooh,
That's a hard thing to. That's a hard pill to swallow right there.
ooh, it is.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. It is.
But necessary.
Yeah. And then the thing with that, though,
Lies.
is to realize that the things that were taught and the deceptions that were fallen under, they were already there. They were already taught. So it's not about blaming this teacher, that teacher, or the other, because they simply didn't know either. Because who would? Who would think? I never would have thought being born into this place that my name itself was really literally on my birth certificate, which was a receipt for my energy to be used for some fake currency somewhere. Like, yeah, I really don't care about any of that. I really don't. But just the realization of that name on there was really indeed a slave name on the receipt my mother was given for me by an entity, an organization to use as they saw fit. And then to say that, yep, you are now a part of this organization, whether you want to be or not, doesn't matter. Here's your slave papers and your number assigned, here's your whatever. It's weird. It really is. And then at first it was because I had an attachment to that name. I had an attachment to that history. I had an attachment to everything I used to think I was and believe in what I strived to achieve and do. I had to admit that it was all set up. And it wasn't set up by me. That's the thing. It was set up before I got here, and I just played in it. I played out whatever role I chose, and I played a role. I acted out literally, not just figuratively or allegorically, literally, I acted out a life experience based on belief, not knowing. And that was a hard thing for me not to accept, because it came as a acceptance like that, because I was on my way out, like I said before. But health wise, I was, yeah. But anyway, it hit me like a ton of bricks. So accepting it was no problem. I was forced kind of to accept as my reality melted and all the concepts and beliefs melted. I was forced to accept that I had been fooled, and I was playing the role of the fool throughout my life based on my beliefs. But there's also no one to blame. So to me, that's important to know that you can't blame a bunch of folk that are in the same position, were put in the same position as you were. And for a long time before any of us were here, we were all put in those same positions, just like our parents and grandparents and whoever. I don't know the history of this place, and I don't believe most of it. But that's irrelevant to me, to the present moment. While the history itself is very relevant, and the truth would be very, very helpful to get, so everyone could fill all those holes that are inside them of not knowing, like the kind of the backstory of the who, what, why, where, how of all of this from a really honest, truthful, whatever perspective. A very open, just not trying to hide any kind of knowledge, just let everyone know so everyone doesn't, so folks don't have this not knowing where we come from and get caught up on this different angels and aliens and different dimensions and different this and different that. It keeps them so far outside of this physical reality right here on the ground that is also a very spiritual reality right here on the ground in the present moment, every moment that they stay disconnected. That's how I stayed disconnected for so long. So yeah, so what was hard for me wasn't the acceptance, it was the reconciliation of all those beliefs and the distillation of those beliefs into some kind of knowing wherever I could find it and getting rid of the other. And if it was too much nonsense, discard the whole thing. And that was how I had to reconcile my own reality and experience with what I was experiencing in the present moment. And it was a rough process at first. Strange process, but so invigorating
It was a
as
scary
well.
process.
And that, yeah, that, you know what? That, I was writing up some numbers, like I've gotten real simple with numbers. I like the numbers now. Not in a, not in this big number sense of statistics and studies and this and that, but I just want to throw a couple numbers out that the other night I jotted down was I was thinking about the overpopulation thing. All this always about overpopulation, overpopulation, and it's only because everyone's all stacked up in these ridiculous cities, like sardines, all packed together in these boxes all over the places. Why it seems like overpopulation is a real thing when think about all the time you see like footage of planes or trains or this and that. Even here's an example. How about the picture of the train? I think it was in Venezuela of all the people on the train leaving, and they're just talking about overpopulation. I don't know how they spun it, but you know how things get spun. Well, look at all those in those pictures of all the vast expanse of open land. Sure, there might be a picture of a whole bunch of folks, say 1,000 folks on a train on these two train tracks, yet they're surrounded by vast open areas of forest land to where someone could stop the train, everyone could get off the train, spread out, get an area just for themselves, and be able to build a shelter, find food, and live there peacefully. Yet you want to talk like, but not you, but someone likes to talk about how, oh, it's overcrowded. We have to move people here, there, and everywhere, make stuff sustainable, make stuff resilient, blah, 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 as things are destroyed and then rebuilt with this resiliency garbage. No, I don't mean to get all negative, but
Yeah, yeah. You don't even have to look at any pictures to see the openness of land. If you just drive anywhere, there's just land everywhere, mass amounts of open land
yeah.
everywhere. Yep.
Yep. So I looked at the population. What's the population here? Somebody said it's 7.6 billion. Okay. So then I started looking at square miles and converting it to square acres and stuff. So I'm not gonna say a whole bunch of numbers, but okay. Let me try and find a. So the population of Earth supposedly 7.6 billion. Well, there's supposedly 57 million square miles of land. Land. I'm not talking about underwater. And I know all places on the land aren't habitable and this and that, but you know what? I also know that we folk, human beings, whatever label you want to put on us, have the ability to, kind of adapt and live in all these different environments. So if there is 57 million square miles, that equates to 36.48 billion acres. So, with a population of 7.6 billion people, that breaks down to 4.8 acres per person. 4.8 acres per person. So, if you consider that's every single person, supposedly, maybe, I don't know, I don't make up these numbers. Well, that's almost 5 acres. And if you got a family of three, that's about 15 acres. You don't even need 15 acres to be able to just live, grow some food, live peacefully. You could live on one person's about 5 acres of family and live peacefully, and everyone could be doing the same thing, and no one will be stacked on top of each other like sardines. There's a thought. So anyway, and then I did the United States is whatever 2.9 million square miles. It works out to almost 1.9 billion acres in the contiguous United States. Not counting Alaska and Hawaii, which Alaska is ginormous, but not counting that. Just the contiguous United States, the little thing you see, on the map with just that, not the islands. Yeah, almost 1.9 billion acres. So that adds there, that equates to yet like 1 acre on top of what the world population would have been if you just consider this country. It would be 5.8 acres. So almost 6 acres if you only consider this place. So how is it overpopulated? How? It's not. It's yet another myth. Yet another myth.
That everyone believes.
Yeah.
Like one of many other myths that keep things working the way that they work, this suffering-based society.
Oh yeah, and you know what? To let you know, I don't believe that I don't believe there's 7.6 billion people on Earth, and I don't believe there's 57 million square miles either. You know why? Just because I can't know it for sure. So I was just relaying numbers that I found from someone else. So I can't really say that that's true or fact because this place could be, I don't know, any size or shape. I don't know. I can't know that. And I can't know how many individuals are here. I can't know that. So I just wanted to share that though, because I mean, that goes with numbers that were provided. And then if those are the numbers that are provided, and then also at the same time being told how it's overpopulated and this and that, well, it doesn't work.
They lie on
Just
every
like
other
everything
aspect.
else.
Yeah.
Just like here's food, food shortages. Well, if you consider the tons and tons and tons of food that gets fed to enslaved animals to feed them, to raise them, to kill them, to then be used as food. Well, if you would just let those animals go on about their daily life and business like any of us should be able to do that lives here, that can see and breathe and feel. If you just let them go and take all that food that's being grown and given to those animals that eat massive amounts only to be slaughtered, and we in turn eat those plants and vegetables, there would be an absolute overabundance of food here for everyone
Already.
right now because it's already here. It's just being fed to these poor animals who are then later just being slaughtered. So what are we doing then? I wonder. To me, it's very obvious that I was taught very backwards in how I should look at things and what I should perceive as food, what I should perceive as sustenance, because I can tell you openly and honestly and truthfully that now when I look at any other living being, I don't see it as a potential meal because I know that dead sentient energy is not sustenance for my body. When I have to process, when I think back and when I think back and I feel back to what I ate and how I used to eat, and I think back and how my body, I was forcing it to process all this dead, sentient, toxic energy. Well, I see how all my sickness grew. I see how all my heart troubles happened. I see how my insides were just disgustingly broken, and the cancer cells were growing and had grown. Like, I get it now. I also get that it can be healed because I've done it. And I've also healed those beliefs that make me look at other life for what it is and know that it's just a part of life, like I am here, experiencing this place like I am in a different form. Whether they, as a chicken walks into the garage, who now just hang out here because I don't eat eggs or I don't eat any of that stuff, they just hang out here. They're free to come and go as they please. There's 2 left. We have a rooster and a hen that just hangs out. They have a coop. So, anyway, as she was from spending time observing them and how they communicated with each other and things like that, that really helped me gain a real deep appreciation for life again, which I had seemed to have lost for so long, or didn't fully realize in the start. I really don't know, but I can't look at them the same anymore because I know it's not food, it's not sustenance. That's not the kind of energy. To me, it's plants. It's direct energy from the sun. The sun causes the plants to grow. I consume the plants. I consume that plant material, good energy of earth that grew from the light of the sun. That's all I need. That, along with looking at the sunlight, has helped me greatly as well, to where I can just gaze comfortably at the sun and take in those light rays, no matter what you want to call the sun or this or that or fake or whatever that light might be. Okay, I get it. Who can say? I can't say. I ain't been there, type of thing. I can't reach out and touch it, and I can't get to the other side of it. So I don't know, but I know I can look comfortably at it, and I know I can feel the energy that comes from it, and I can see the electromagnetic pattern around it. I can see it in the waves and as I look and I observe it. So it also helped me kind of realize how the atomic theory of things was just grossly laid upon the electromagnetic nature of this place. To me, like I said, I'm no scientist or academic or expert on any specific angular portion of this reality. I am only an expert on really getting control of myself, and just my own experiences, and that's it. And I would still, I qualify that with saying not even an expert yet, but I'm getting better. I'm getting a lot better because I'm still growing and learning constantly. I really am.
Every moment, yep.
To me, the thing is not to take that combination of mother, father down here where we are and then start splitting people's perception of gender now, or trying to combine them into this unnatural other sort of being that nature did not create, that the creator did not create, that is, unless that is that anomaly in how some folk are born with both. And that's different. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the idea of gender being linked to those very real spiritual masculine and feminine energies that combine within us, that make us who we are. So, okay, I'm just going to talk some stuff first. So, like the father then. So, father, thought, reason, whatever. The father, the light, the sun. To me, yes, that's the temple, that's the thought up here in the temple that gets this expansive consciousness and gets things. That's the masculine, you could say, even though still you can go masculine, feminine with the sides. But just to put it even more simply, the more masculine aspect of that, looking for the father, the the Father. Everyone talks about the Father, the Creator. Well, that's fine too, as long as the mother is also considered in the heart, in the house, on earth, on this plane, in physicality, the nurturing, the mother, the divine feminine. If those two, the heart and the care, if the heart and the care center aren't tied together here, feet on the ground, fully in the moment, the Father up here with all this vast consciousness is going to run amok. It's going to run amok with reason and logic that is, in a lot of times, just nonsensical because it's not linked up to truth, the truth of life and nature, in a way as to not cause harm. So, yeah. So I wanted to say it. That's important to me. Is that clean the temple. Clear your temple. You fill your own temple with your own thoughts and organic knowledge. Fill that temple with your own wisdom throughout all the energy from all the way down your spine, all the way back up through all your past experience up to the present moment. Fill your temple with that, because that is yours. That's yours, and no one else can tell you different. Not now, because it's past. Now it's gone. It's illusion, except for in you. It's still very real. It's in your DNA. It's what will combine and activate your DNA to wake up, to start to remember itself. Because those pieces that are disjointed and disconnected aren't junk. Nature doesn't make junk, does it? Does it make sense that we would be filled with so many strands of DNA that scientists call junk DNA? Does that make sense? That's all very real, very connected DNA trying to work and trying to activate. All it has to do is be realized. And belief will keep that DNA suppressed at the genetic level, which to me relates directly, energetically to the cosmic level and to the infinite level. Because if a being here in creation that has been created is suppressed to that point, it is cut off. It is cut off from the Creator at that point, and it's running amok, short-circuiting on repeating thought patterns of belief or incorrect feelings or incorrect emotion. To me, that's the thing to stop. It's to stop those, stop running around, stop all of that. Sit centered, feel your energy inside. Feel all the different energies and how they combine, because we're not just one energy. We make up one individual, but we are one individual that's a combination of, likely, I figure, all the energies of nature in whatever specific combination or order it was put together to make our bodies and our minds and our consciousness, and gives us the ability to feel these things, and filled with spirit.